still somewhat in tune.
Hey everybody, happy 2021. And to kick off the new year, I'm going to introduce to you a new series I'm going to have here on Tony's Music channel. It's simply called My Stuff. Okay, you two, come with me. So, this is episode 3 of My Stuff. Now, you're probably saying, well, how can it be episode 3 if you're introducing it for the first time? Well, I did a couple of videos last year featuring some of my gear. One of my Westminster guitar, my Fender Strat imitation from the teen years, and my bass guitar as well. So, I'm kind of looking at those as the first 2 episodes of this series. And I enjoyed making those, and I figured I'll do a video catalog sort of thing about the rest of my stuff, especially my vintage stuff. So, the next couple of years, I'll be doing these videos every so often. And today's episode, we're featuring the guitar that I call my baby. None other than the Roland G707. This is the Roland G707 guitar, introduced by Roland in 1984. To coincide with the release of the GR-100 guitar synthesizer, which was basically a floorboard version guitar synthesizer thingy, but it basically was the JX3P synthesizer engine inside of it. So if you were a guitar player in the 80s, this really turned you on because the 80s was synthesizer city, basically for 10 years. And guitar players wanted to get their hands on the same kind of sounds that keyboard players seem to have. And the 700 was probably one of the better units that came out to do that sort of thing. Now, I never got one, a little expensive, a little pricey, but I definitely wanted the guitar itself. You know, the synthesizer was another aspect of it, but it was the guitar. I mean, just look at this thing. I fell in love with it the moment it was released. And I've got an interesting story to tell later about that as well. Anyhow, so around 1988, I guess, some years later, I'm going to say about 88, I picked up one of their other guitars. Roland made a series of these synthesizer-compatible guitars, the G202, the 505, the 303, and 808, and I think that was it. And, of course, the 707, which came out later. But the 202 and the 505 were kind of like Fender Strati imitations. They were really good guitars. And the 303 and the 808 was more of a Les Paul-y thing, but it didn't really look like a Les Paul. It kind of looked like almost kind of looked like an SG, but with a much thicker body. And if you've ever seen Pat Metheny play his Roland guitar, that's the one. That's the 303. And I actually got that first. I saw one for sale. I picked it up, and it came with the synthesizer to complement it. It was the GR-500 and the GR-100. No, sorry, not the 500, the 300. The 500 was a different system prior to that. So the GR-300 and GR-100, which I have on the floor right now, came with that 303. And I bought it as a package. I think I got it from Cosmo Music Store back in around 88, I think it was. So then afterwards, about a year or so later, they had one of these in the store too. And I saw that and I went, oh, that's the one I really want to get. I was settling for the 303, even though it's Pat Metheny's, Roland guitar that he's been using for the last 40 years now. I still wanted to get my hands on the 707. So I traded it in. I traded in the 303, paid a couple bucks more, and I got the 707, and the dream came true. And I'm really glad I did, because this guitar plays so damn well. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's so easy to feel that you can get, and of course, because of this cutaway here, you can get right up into the high-end strings. And it's just smooth. The action is fantastic on it. Everybody who plays this thing knows that it's really well built. This was made by Fujigen in Japan, who also made for guitars for Ibanez. They even did a little bit of Fenders and a little Gibson work as well. And they're one of the bigger guitar manufacturers in Japan, and they do quality stuff. So when Roland came in with them to design the guitar, and I think they also got involved in the synthesizers as well, they came up with this beauty eventually. And that whole line of guitars, really, and they're all really well done. Of course, I have a soft spot for the 707. So I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of what this thing sounds like. Now, the two humbucker pickups in here are wonderful. They sound great, and this is a beautiful sounding guitar. I'm going to show you now. Something like that. Middle pickup as well here. And I broke a string. How's that? All right, so I'm in my workshop here. I got the guitar on the bench, and I'm going to do a quick change of the E string, the high E string. That's the one that broke on me. I should be changing all the strings out because, quite frankly, this is the first time I pulled the guitar out of its case and played it in bloody 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know. It's been forever. And the reason why I don't play her is because, well, I want to keep it mint, I suppose. And I don't take it to gigs anymore. I used to back in the day, but I don't take it to gigs anymore. It's too sentimental to me now and too valuable to me, at least. And that I just don't want to bother taking it out of the house, you know. And since it's tucked away nicely in my closet, I don't really bother. It's too much work to pull it out and, you know, put it into a tune I'm doing or something like that. But I may change that because it does sound really nice. So I will probably be using it actually in the future. So it does need a full string change. It does need some cleaning and a little bit of maintenance, I suppose. But for today, I'm just going to put a string on her just to finish up with the demonstration. All right. So this bridge that they designed here was really great. And it's so easy to use. I'm going to show you in a second. But you have a whammy bar here. And, you know, you can kind of go almost half dive bombing, I would say. I wouldn't go too crazy with the whammy on it. But it does work surprisingly well. It's got a lot of stability to the tuning, and it's even got the rollers over here on each string, which makes it a lot better than just scraping along a piece of metal. But the cool thing is, when you're changing strings, it takes 2 seconds. All you gotta do is just sort of slip the ball in like that, and then whammo, go across. Couldn't be any easier. Hi, baby. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. So the string's been changed on it, and she's ready to go. However, I do have some bad news. Before I started this video, I was very excited about doing it because it was like, oh, the first time I had a chance to pull out my guitar synthesizer system, and God knows how long I've been. I don't know. I haven't used it forever, and I was looking really forward to demonstrating the old babies and see what you think. So it's pretty cool. However, one of them doesn't work. Okay, so as I said earlier, before I got the 707, first I had the 303, which was the Pavattini guitar. And it came as a package. It came with a couple of Roland synth units, a GR-300 and the GR-100. And it came with patch cables and a selector switch and everything I needed. And took that home, and I still have it to this day. And of course, when I got the 707, then I upgraded to, what is this thing? So here are the 2 units I was talking about, the 300 and the 100. This is old-fashioned technology. This is not MIDI. This doesn't have that same kind of system that Fender and Roland put out later on for their guitar synths. This is the old-fashioned 24-pin system, and which the G303 and the 707 and all the other ones all had, and we're all compatible with this thing. Anyone could use it.
Three days later.
Okay, well, it's been a couple of days, and I've been pretty upset about the GR-300 not powering up. I mean, I'm a wreck. I'm like, look at my hair. I haven't shaven. I've just been a mess. So, you know, I'm thinking what to do. So, sure enough, did a little research online, and I found a guy who's an expert on these synthesizer units, and he said there's a known problem with them, with the power capacitors, and that you should change them because they're probably going to fail on you, and you're going to get exactly the condition that I've got now. So he described the fix, he demonstrated it, and I said, that's pretty easy. This is where my electronics diploma now comes in handy. Now, I don't have the capacitors that he recommended, but a buddy of mine did, got them from him, and now I'm going to try to put them in. Wish me luck. I'm back. And this time it's working, and it's all set up, both units, the switcher, the guitar, the dry sounding guitar as well. Got all that going. And so you've seen the guitar, how it sounds, you've seen what you can do with the GR-100. Now I'm going to show you what you can do with the 300. Okay, so let me turn off the 100. I'm going to start with just a dry kind of plain old Jane tone here. Let's add some LFO. Now let's go to duet. Two voices together. Let's kill the LFO. Now you can also add a second voice, well, take the second voice rather, and pitch it up or down, whatever setting you want to be, whether you want a harmony of third or harmony of fifth or something like that. I got them pitched as octaves. So if I want to go an octave down, one little issue with these things is the tuning tends to be a little unstable. It could be something else going on in the unit that might need it, but I keep having to adjust it a little bit. So let me see. So there we go. And the whammy still works. Okay, let me see here. Or pitch octave higher than regular tone. Or just an octave higher alone. So, of course, Matheny is known for using the GR-300 as well. He's had this sort of signature sound that is associated with him. Lots of other guys have used it, but it's pretty much we know as the Pat Metheny guitar synth sound, and it's basically this. That's basically it. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning a little something about the Roland G707 and the old style guitar synths that went with it. I've had those units now for a very long time, very sentimental, and I just love them. It's nice to know. I don't use them very much, like I said, but I'll never part with it, that's for sure. And one of the reasons that the guitar is so sentimental to me is, I'll tell you a story. Back in high school, I had a friend who was a guitar player as well. When the 707 came out, we both freaked out. We both like, oh, that thing is gorgeous. We've got to get that. And, you know, so for a long time we kept saying, oh man, when we get older and make some money, you know, get a job, we're gonna get that guitar. And I said, oh yeah, for sure, man. You know, and we were both so excited about it. Anyway, a few years after high school, my friend tragically passed away, and it broke my heart. And eventually, when I did get the 707, I certainly thought of him. I thought to myself, boy, here I am, live, doing well, and I've got the dream guitar that I've always talked about with him. And he's not here. He's up there, I hope, smiling on me, hopefully happy that I got it. But it's tough to see that he never got that chance to get one himself. And however, when I bought it, and every time I use it and play it, to me, I'm honoring him a little bit with it. I feel like a piece of him is in there. And, you know, I just hope he knows that I've never forgot about him. And that every time I play it, I think of him again. Anyway, that's all for today. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell, let you know when we have new videos coming up. And thanks for tuning in. Take it easy.